Alright, so here's Bethany, who just found this Dwarf Waterdog. It's kind of a sub-adult. It's not quite as big as they get, but it's close. These are a member...
You sure it's on recording?
Yeah, it's on recording. This is a member of the genus Nectris, so it's related to the mud puppies, common in the north if you're an ice fisherman or a fisherman of any kind in the Great Lakes. You see those red gills there? Well, they're not really gills because it's an amphibian, but yeah, these are kind of the southern cousins of the mud puppy, known as the Dwarf Waterdog. They live in the coastal plain of Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. They just barely inch up into Virginia.
Sorry.
No, you're
so
good.
If those are not gills, what are they called?
I have no idea.
I think they are called gills.
They are?
I don't know.
Shoot. Alright. Well, we'll look that up and get back with you later. But anyway, this is a Dwarf Waterdog, and that is our first lifer of the trip here is a salamander.
Sedimentary.
And this is, like I said, this is almost as big as they get. Horsefly on me there, sorry folks. We're in kind of cool habitat. This is pretty, it looks like it's a slow flowing stream on the surface, but if you'll notice over there how there's a whirlpool right by that tree, right under the surface, this stream is flowing really fast, and it flows into a stream called Drowning Creek, and you can tell why. It's black water, it's nasty water, and man, is it ever flowing fast and deep. Once you get right under that surface, it'll probably pull you right down. But anyway, so we dip. I don't want to demonstrate. Do you want to demonstrate?
No.
Alright, but yeah, we found Bethany dip netted them right in this leaf pack over here, pretty much on the bank of the stream. We're in the Sandhills of North Carolina, kind of on the edge of the Sandhills region here in east central North Carolina. We're going to get a little more video and some pictures of them. Hope you enjoy the rest of the footage of this trip. Carolina Sandhills here in a slightly different section of them. Road cruising here at, I don't know, probably about 9 at night. Big rainstorm came down today. Yeah, really big rainstorm. Right now the rain's tapered, but it's still going.
Oh,
Sweet
man.
toad!
I've never seen one this big.
Sweet toad.
Or maybe he just looks bigger because he's all puffed up.
Yeah.
Good Pharisee for you. See, we got the stripes.
Nice biblical illusion. Anyway, Spadefoot Toad. Yeah, this is by far the largest bullfrog I've ever seen. Only a neuron I've ever seen is bigger than
and
this.
look at that reticulated pattern.
Oh yeah, the pattern is awesome. It looks like a leopard.
I'm surprised they let me catch it.
Only frog or toad I've ever seen bigger than this was a toad in the Upper Peninsula. It was maybe an inch bigger.
Long legs. Sorry, I need to hold it still for you.
That's awesome. Nah, I'm good. I got it. All right, so this here is banded watersnake. Not sure how well you can see it. Close relative of the cottonmouth and the northern.
Wait, the cottonmouth?
Well, not a close relative, but looks kind of like a cottonmouth. You see the ventral pattern. Looks really pretty. He's got like speckled red pattern on either side, almost a herringbone type thing going on. Close relatives of the northern watersnake, still in Scotland County, North Carolina.
Yes, and this is not a cottonmouth. It has brown
Not a
pupils, and
cottonmouth.
I've already been bitten by it. So.
Right. Yeah, definitely not a cottonmouth. Though this is a banded. I think a banded watersnake. Nothing all that special here. We're in the North Carolina Sandhills. This is a 5-line skink, common 5-line skink with the blue tail. Very common lizard, but it's the first one I've ever successfully caught. So, a bit of a milestone. Thank you, Bethany. This is a flowing stream through a cypress swamp. We had a big rain yesterday. You can see the water flowing through this black water cypress swamp. I'm on kind of the margin here. Just some beautiful habitat, even though it's pretty inaccessible right now.
I took Alan there before. There's places where you like get down like this.
Oh man, cool.
Like a tidal wave, and there's just Stereochilus.
North Carolina.
Wow.
Goodness.
Actually, if you go up just a little bit farther up slope, there's tons of Chamberlain at that same place.
Really?
Yeah. I was just going to get a clump of moss to put in a bag with some of the salamanders when I was trapping. There's a
Alright folks, we're finished up Herping for the day. We're going to hit it again tomorrow. Still have a couple days left. Found a 3-line with a kind professor who gave us some tips. Absolutely roaring tonight. Winds are coming off the ocean, probably 15-20 miles an hour steady. this is a southern.
He's too focused on you.
Southern black racer right here. Bethany just flipped him under this bit of shingle. It looks almost like it's got asbestos cloth on it or something. Anyway, we're in eastern North Carolina at a nondescript locality. Bethany just flipped it. We're, I don't know if I get you on video.
Oh, no. I was actually going to ask you guys the same thing.
Yeah, we're out here herping with Phil Laxton, who's kind enough to help show us around the Karatin here. Anyway, first southern black racer.
I hope I run into you. I said, well, you ran into me. And now he's come down. I've herped with him several times. I was herping with him this weekend.
Yeah.
I met him on the side of the road.
That's awesome. Alright guys, so this is an eastern mud turtle for whenever this gets up on YouTube. We're in eastern North Carolina with kind of canal type habitat around, real low and swampy. And we've been seeing a lot of yellow belly sliders. I haven't gotten video of them because they're just so common. I think I already have some video yellow belly sliders up on my YouTube, but yeah, eastern mud turtle lifer right here.
If we put him in the water for a little bit.
Alright guys.
The one that jumped, yeah.
This is an alligator. Looking at him from probably about 70 feet off a bridge here in eastern North Carolina. American alligator. Back in a very swampy area.
So just awesome.
He was laying on the bank, but he jumped in as soon as we walked up to this bridge. Long like 3 pounds. I'd say he's about 3-footer. There we go. Alright, we're recording.
He's going to swim up that canal.
And it's on autofocus, by the way.
Okay.
Can I get him?
Yeah. Just a second. There's our alligator swimming. Here you go. It's on the right focus. Just find him and he'll be good.
Yeah, I can kind of see the end of his tail now. I think that's 3 foot.
That is awesome.
I think it's fair to say 3 foot.
You think he's going to that bank to sun?
That'd be pretty cool. Wow.
2-toed amphiema. Eastern North Carolina.
Yeah, this is a little guy. He's getting dry.
Yeah.
This is
Flipped in a little cypress swamp like this, little vernal. So here is another American alligator. Different spot now. We're no longer in the Croatan National Forest. We're in southeastern North Carolina, middle of the morning. It's already up in the 70s, sun shining. Beautiful day.
and there's a little one over there. Do you see it?
Oh yeah, and here's a smaller one cruising in the water in this canal. Probably a 5-ish footer. This guy over here on the bank though, probably 7-8 feet. Pretty big alligator. Alright, so we're back in the sandhills. And this is Bethany wrangling.
Slip these two under that big
Yeah,
board over there.
that big debris board over there had these 2 southern black racers under it. One of them's, I think in molt, you can see his eyes are kind of clouded. It's the one that Bethany's holding on her right wrist right now. The other one has a kind of a darker coloration. It's more black. Its belly is almost like a navy blue. Beautiful snakes.
I'm pretty proud they haven't bit me yet.
Yeah, they seem kind of docile at the moment.
Really easy. You want to hold them?
Alright, so here are a couple ringneck snakes. Not sure what subspecies. If they're southern, this would be a lifer. For me, I don't know about for Bethany. But we flipped them in this little muddy seep in the sandhills under some cover. There are 4 of them. Bethany nabbed 3 of them. Thank you, Bethany.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful little creatures with that
Stinky too.
orange underbelly. An orange ring around their neck. Alright folks, this is a southern dusky salamander. We've just flipped at a little swamp site here in the sandhills. Not what you think of typically for southern dusky habitat, but we are at the edge of their range here, where the Piedmont and coastal plain meet. These guys are more common the closer you get to the coast. And as I noted in Bethany's video, which will probably be up on her channel, the Herping lizard, these guys are getting taxonomically split up. The original southern dusky only lives in North Florida and South Georgia. These guys are actually part of a separate species that is neither northern nor southern. But until then, this gets marked down the checklist as a southern dusky because the taxonomy has not officially been changed yet. You'll note the, I'm going to change the focus here, the white portholes right there going down the side, basically one per costal groove.
It's got speckled.
Yeah, his speckled underbelly in conjunction with the habitat, which is very swampy, very low-lying, not northern dusky terrain at all. This water is barely moving, and this is most certainly a southern dusky salamander. So, lifer.
Yes. Well, you play guitar here.
Yeah. Sunset in the Longleaf Pine savannas of the North Carolina sandhills. You're listening to the Prairie Springer Waltz, written by Jay Unger, performed by Southern Raised. Here you see sunset in the North Carolina sandhills. There's Bethany over there. And we're in the Longleaf Pine. This is not a wildfire. This is a controlled brush fire. You see, Longleaf Pine ecosystem is kind of like the jack pine northern Michigan, where for the pines to stay dominant, you have to have fire every now and again, which in the old days, before Europeans were here, was accomplished by lightning. Native Americans did do some suppression, but they didn't have the capacity to do it on the level that we do now. So you'd have the low grasses, which you see on that side of the road, which has not been burned in, you know, maybe a couple years or something. The grasses start to grow up real high like that. And if you let that keep going, you'll get deciduous trees. If you keep suppressing the fire, eventually those longleaf pines will be outcompeted. Plus, fire renews the nutrients in the soil and all that. It restores the balance of the natural ecosystem. It's actually been shown across the board in South Carolina to increase the population of pygmy rattlesnakes. So anyway, just a cool video of the longleaf pine ecosystem in a controlled burn. Smells great. Alright, so we're here in the sandhills of North Carolina. This tree frog, which Bethany has her light on. Keep that light on. There we go. Let me focus, folks.
Gorgeous.
This is a barking tree frog. He's kind of in his spotted phase here.
Oh my goodness.
Green below, brown above. We just dip netted this in a little pond here at night in the North Carolina sandhills. Beautiful night out.
Get the moon if you can.
Yeah. And yeah, you can't really see it here, but there's a crescent moon behind a big, tall longleaf pine there. Classic Carolina. I'm being a little drowned out. You can hear right now southern toads. You can hear, I believe, Cope's gray tree frogs, which are the ones going at little 2 and 3 second intervals like that. The long, that's the southern toad. And then that one that sounds kind of like a dog barking. Couple in front of me, one behind. Hear it? That's the barking tree frog. And we got one of those guys.
I was going to watch the moon.
Yeah. So anyway, barking tree frog. Over and out.